Hey guys, welcome back. On this episode of My Zero Carb Life, this is Ashley Stevenson, who I have been asked about many times in my hometown. I don't know if you know this.
Absolutely the same.
So we've kind of both been on very similar journeys, and we haven't met face to face, but when I tell people how I eat, people say, "Oh, do you know Ashley Stevenson?" I'm like, I still don't. So I asked her, why don't you just come to my house and we're going to talk. I'm 40, about to turn 41.
I'm 33. I'll be 34 this year.
And I've been doing carnivore. I just had my 10-year anniversary.
Woo!
Yes. And you? Keto.
I've been keto since 2012.
2012. So the reason I had her here today, even though this is typically just straight up carnivore, zero carb thing, is because there's so much, I think there's a lot of like competition or comparisons.
Yes.
Sort of us versus them. And I knew it wouldn't be like that with us.
No.
At all. Even though I hadn't met you, I just got a vibe. I mean, we've messaged together, and I knew it wasn't going to be like, well, this is why mine is better than yours kind of thing. That's not what I want at all.
Not at all.
It's not what we're here for. So if you're here to see any hate at all, just go on. We're going to kind of compare and talk about how we got here, what it's done for us, that kind of thing. So before we start, I'm going to just briefly explain what I think carnivore is.
Okay.
There are different camps. It's not like they pay me as their representative.
True.
Clearly my way is best, but
a decade of the best.
Thank you. Carnivore is basically you only eat animals. There are no plants whatsoever. When it comes to macros, we don't count nor care. We just eat meat. Eat meat. If we want fatty meat that day, we eat some fat. If we want leaner meat that day, we eat lean. Whatever meat looks good, we're really not picky. Some carnivores focus, in fact, I'd say most, are mostly beef. But it's not like an exclusive thing. I would definitely have a pork chop or some chicken wings. We just eat
Hot
meat.
wings are delicious, yes.
Yes. We don't care really. We don't care about ketones. We don't pee on anything like
me neither.
Sticks. Oh,
don't do it. Waste of money. We're going to talk about that.
Okay. All right. We don't even typically check blood ketones. In fact, because of the way, the more you reduce the carbs in plants.
Yes.
The more efficient you are using the ketones in your body, and so they don't show up as much, and it may actually give the impression that you're not in ketosis when you really are. Well, for the most part, it's just eat meat. Like, if you can do that one thing, great, you're a carnivore. Then there's a million different ways to tweak it. What is keto?
So basically, what I would say is that keto is the outside circle of carnivore. It's like we're closing a window, and we're getting smaller and smaller and smaller into an elimination of foods that we can and cannot have based off of inflammation. Okay. So for the keto people, okay, what this means is that we do not ingest any grains. We don't have any vegetable oils. We stay away from anything that's going to be super processed. So what that means is we're going to track our macros. So we try and stay between a 70 to 75% fat, 20 to 25% on protein, and 0 to 5% carbohydrates. Where the carbs come from are going to be from your vegetables. Where people tend to get in trouble in the keto world is that they eat keto approved food that have a lot higher total carbohydrate counts and really high dietary fiber and sugar alcohols. So that is where I would say carnivore, when we get into this discussion, I would say that carnivore is much simpler. You don't have as many gray areas to make damaging decisions and get super sick because you're not eating foods that have a lot of inflammation. Now, there are some within the carnivore world that have histamine issues.
Yes.
But with keto, it's just so broad. So you could have someone who is really great with high sulfur vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. Or me, I can't do them at all. And so I have an entire conversation about how I've eliminated a lot of vegetables because they just cause too much distress for me. I just naturally don't do well with them. But I still do really well with certain fats that are not on a carnivore diet.
Oh, like what?
Like avocados.
Oh, I could ask about avocados probably more than any other food.
I know. I feel like it's the sluttiest food in the keto world. I mean, avocados, everything. Bacon and avocado and chaffles. We're just going to have a whole thing called chaffles.
Yeah, you know, I've tried chaffles.
I love them.
Yeah, they're so easy, and it's just
cheese.
It's basically cheese and egg.
I know. I have an entire Instagram like picture or series of just different chaffles, and I made like a Big Mac chaffle. And everybody just lost their minds. It was hilarious. But I'm like, it's just cheese, waffles, and beef and bacon and another thing and a thing. It's just layering.
Right.
So keto, it's a lot of counting for no reason. I feel like a lot of people make problems for themselves in the beginning because they don't make sure that they establish electrolytes properly. So what happens is, because we have depleted all that water, we can't just drink water to put the water back on. Sodium helps hold water in our joints and in our tissues. So we do, from a keto perspective, need to reestablish electrolytes.
Okay.
So I have specific electrolytes that I like to take. I don't know if you're familiar with certain brands. I don't know if you want to mention them or not.
I've never taken electrolytes.
Okay.
So we don't even really, there's maybe another difference. So
yes.
Keto, the electrolytes is kind of a big thing in the beginning?
It is, because you don't want to get keto flu. And
okay.
the whole concept around why you get keto flu is that your mind and your body is addicted to carbohydrates in the same way that an addict would be addicted to cocaine.
Agreed.
So your body's going through, like, the deprivation. They're going through, I feel like I need it.
We usually call it adaptation.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, it's the same thing. It's basically like you're increasing sodium so that you don't feel sick. Like
Okay. We do not.
Fog.
This is interesting because in carnivore world we call it adaptation, but at least so I work with a group called Zeroing In on Health, and I've been there several years. It's got like 28,000 people right now. So we see a lot of people come in, but we do not typically talk electrolytes in the beginning.
Right.
It's more, you're going through adaptation to become a fat-fueled organism versus carb-fueled.
Right.
And we just typically say, let your body have some extra rest, eat some more meat, go more lean if your tummy's upset, 'cause sometimes that's a thing with too much fat at first.
No, it is, and they'll have diarrhea.
Yes.
It's terrible, especially and you guys don't fast, but there's lots of people that will, after they break fast and it's meat, they will have diarrhea within 30 minutes of eating. So we can talk about that in a little bit too. But so do you suggest bone broth at all whenever someone's going through adaptation?
We've had some phases of people being like, it's the mystical, magical food.
Yes.
And we're like, well, really?
It's the drink of the gods.
Yeah, it's kind of meat juice.
Meat juice,
and if
right.
you can eat the meat, just eat the meat. If you're so sickly, I feel like bone broth is really, at least my carnivore peeps, view it more as for the sick. Like, if you are having an issue, then maybe you could have some bone broth to ease you into it. But once you are healthy, we just go eat your steak. Go eat your meat.
Yeah, like,
it's
I don't know how hard this is. Why
for
is this
the
so hard?
babies, like, okay, while you're getting started, here's your bone broth.
For the babies.
Yes, and then, oh, look, you're a big lion now. You can go eat an antelope. You know, like,
I know,
it's
right?
sort of seen in our world as like an intro. If you are able to start carnivore, plenty of people do just eat meat. Mm-hmm. And like, I didn't have keto flu. I just started eating meat, and it was okay.
Right.
So if you can, then I don't even know that you need to intro with bone broth. But
no,
if needed, I'd say that, well, that's better than a donut. That's good.
Exactly.
I mean, if you were to drink nothing but prune juice for the next, honest to goodness, 50 years, nothing but prune juice, would you likely be thinner?
I would have to be.
Well, you'd have to be.
I would be cranky pants.
Who could do it? That's the thing. People say the reason your diet works is because you eat less calories.
No.
Well, I mean,
I hate that whole conversation. Calories
I do
have
too.
calories in or not calories out.
If you were to highly restrict calories, would a person lose weight? I'm going to say if you were to eat, say, 300 calories per day, you would lose weight. I could not sustain that.
No.
You will also be hungry. And it also depends on the kinds of calories, where your calories coming from.
Are they nutrient dense calories? Yes. Mm-hmm. Like a big huge salad versus a big huge steak. Well, obviously the steak is not going to take up as much space in your stomach, but it's more nutrient rich and more dense, so it's going to take longer to metabolize. So you're not going to be as hungry as quickly.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So
it sounds like we have a lot of common ground, my friend.
We do have a lot of common ground. And I would almost say, yes, I'm keto, but I'm a keto purist, so I don't like all the supplements that we're probably going to talk about in a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I don't take any supplements at all. People ask that all the time. Oh, I'm sure you have to supplement.
Well,
I
vegans
don't.
and vegetarians do, though.
They do. Yeah, I do know that a lot of ways people eat require a lot of extra supplementing and money. It's a lot of money, and I don't supplement with anything. So
No.
I'm going to give you like the 1 minute recap of my story, how
Yeah.
I got here, and then I want you to take more than a minute.
I don't
to
know
tell
how you're
yours.
going to put 10 years in 1 minute.
This is going to be quick. So I got here when I was 25 years old.
Yep.
I weighed 262 pounds.
Which I have no idea how, but
I did. And I had a lot of boils come up. Have you ever had a boil?
I have never had a
It is
boil.
like the largest pimply bump that has to be cut open and packed with like
That sounds like something from like an old school
the
Dracula
word
movie.
boil itself.
Like
sounds-
boils and sores, like witchcraft
Who
or
knew
something. I
people
don't know.
still get these? Well, 25 years old, I had them. My doctor says you got to cut out carbs. He said it would be okay to keep a few vegetables. He said come back in a year. He didn't recognize me. I lost 80 pounds at that point. I lost 50 more after that in the next couple years.
Just going zero, like low carbs.
Very low carb, and I kept that up for 5 years, but I was really hungry because I was also trying to cut back on fat.
So you did lean proteins.
Lean proteins.
No, God, that's a formula for disaster.
Mental fog.
Angry.
Hangry. For 5 years, I was hangry. My husband can attest to this. And then at the end of that 5 years, when I realized I can't keep this up forever, I jumped off. So sort of doing the Atkins ladder, but staying at the bottom rung. And then I got off the ladder. And I found Charles Washington and his group of crazy zero carbers.
Yeah.
And I've just stuck with it 10 years later. See? That had to be close to 60 seconds.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
pretty close.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't watch the timer, but it was pretty close. Okay. There's no way I can do it in a minute.
No,
'cause
I
it's
don't
just
need
weird.
you to. They've just heard it so much. Okay, that's how I got here. How
I
did you
gotcha.
get here?
Okay, so in 2012, I had my first daughter, and when I delivered, I was at 235. But before ever having children, I had always done a yo-yo dieting thing. When I was in middle school, I was bulimic. I actually passed out during a pep rally one day because I just hadn't eaten for 3 days, and then when I eat, I would just eat too much, and then I would just binge and purge, and so it was very dangerous for me to continue on that lifestyle. So what had happened between middle school and high school was I had basically healed myself of that situation, but I hadn't fixed the problem and the addictions that I had, and that was what fueled the binging.
Okay.
Was that I wasn't good with boundaries.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we just
I
didn't-
get that.
Yeah, it just wasn't good. I loved to bake. I grew up with two Southern grandmothers who loved to make 2-pound cakes a week, and we had biscuits with everything, and it was a lot of carbs everywhere. Lots of pastas,
Yeah.
everything, just because they are less expensive.
Yes.
Fact, now poor people are fat
Yes.
and rich people are skinny.
Yes.
For the first time in hundreds of years.
That's right.
This is the facts. So in 2012, after I had my first daughter, I was having difficulty losing the weight, post maternity. Yeah. Postpartum, I was having, so I'm going to count off several things that I was dealing with.
All right.
I was dealing with anxiety, insomnia, heartburn, depression. For 17 years of my life, I got allergy shots twice a week because I had severe allergies, like environmental things, mold, penicillin, cats, dogs, all of those things. You can't really fix penicillin, but I'm just legit allergic to mold.
Okay. All right.
I also have abnormal hip sockets. I'm like a Great Dane, so they're very shallow. I'm tall too. Okay, so I'm kind of like a Great Dane, and they don't tell you this. I was like 21, and I was working constantly, and I was in and out of cars, wearing high heels, marketing a lot, and I was aching. My joints were just aching, and I was sitting in the fetal position crying because my hips hurt so bad, and they wouldn't stop popping up. But anyway, so I wound up getting MRIs. They told me exactly what it was, and they said you can have a hip replacement at 21, or you can try and live with it and adjust your physical activity.
Yeah.
And check it out again in 20 years and see where you are. At the time when I started, I just went on Pinterest and I started looking at different ways to reduce inflammation. So you can just look up diets that reduce inflammation on Pinterest in 2012. It wasn't called keto. It was just called low carb, high fat.
Okay.
That's all it was called, was low carb, high fat.
LCHF.
Yep. Hashtag LCHF.
I see that quite a bit.
Exactly.
Even still, some people will call it that.
It is, and the purists, that's how they started out with it. So I like transitioned and like just slowly started doing it. My husband wasn't doing it. He was eating regular foods. My daughter was still eating carb foods.
Okay.
I just started transitioning myself, and within the first year and a half, I lost 50 pounds.
Awesome.
Which was great.
That is great.
But what was better was I also no longer had acid reflux. I no longer had joint pain. I no longer had insomnia. I got off of my prescriptions for postpartum depression and anxiety. I had better clarity. My brain fog was gone. I was just a happier person.
I'm so proud of you. That's crazy. That's so amazing.
I know. It was really great. But the problem is, though, whenever you're doing, I think, keto or low carb, high fat, and you haven't figured out, within that first year and a half, it can be a dangerous point. Because when you see how much you can lose at once, then you start adding the foods back in.
Oh, let's climb the ladder. Honestly, even the original Atkins, that's sort of the plan. You drop way down to nothing at first, and then, oh, you're doing great. Let's start climbing.
No, it's not good. It's not good. So then you start adding them back in, and then you start like, oh, I just got my new body. I'm going to go party and do things. No, you don't need to do that either. It has to be a commitment. It's a marriage to the lifestyle. It is not okay, for 6 months I'm going to do this so that I can lose weight. And that's what drives me insane is when someone says, oh, I'm going to do keto for like 30 days.
Right.
Why?
Dude, absolutely. Please don't bother. Please. Please don't bother. Unless
and don't call me. Don't call me.
Right.
I don't want it.
We are not here for a quick fix.
No.
And it would be similar to if we could even give you a bottle of magic pills, right? And you were to take it for 30 days and then declare, I'm going to no longer take the magic pills. And we'd say, did it not help? You go, oh no, I've lost lots of weight.
Totally works.
I feel amazing. And then you say, but seriously, still, I'm done with the pills. The weight will come right back.
Because you didn't fix anything. You didn't fix mindset or addiction. You didn't fix any of the triggers that caused you problems to begin with.
And if you're not still doing the thing that we ask you to do, you're not going to get the results anymore.
No.
The weight will come right back. And people have even said to me, it's a temporary fix, this whole not eating carbs, because as soon as you eat carbs again, it'll come back. I'll go,
well, the point is that you don't.
It will. It really would, right?
Yeah.
If I went today, me and you, girl, let's go. We're going to go hit up.
I would feel so sick. I don't want to. It makes me feel nauseous. I don't want to do it.
If we went to Sorrento's and started eating the pizza and managed to keep it down, I don't want it. But the weight would come back. You're correct, world. When you say that, to me, that's not. They say it as if that should be a non-starter. Yes.
No.
But I'm like, that's a reality.
That's a reality. Well, and the same can be said for if you're supposed to take this. Okay, you need to brush your teeth so that you don't have cavities.
Oh, but if I were to brush now, and then in a year from now, I were to stop brushing, the cavities would come back. Yep, that's how brushing works.
That's exactly
how
how
I like that analogy.
Yeah, it's the same thing when you think about like oil changes in your car or getting tires.
Why bother starting any of this? If you stop, it'll just come back.
Maintenance is important. Maintenance is important, and laziness is never going to get you where you want to be. So anytime, oh my God, it drives me insane.
It is for life. When I use a hashtag a lot, ZC for life or zero carb for life.
I've seen that.
It is for life for me.
Yeah.
I have zero plans of changing anything, but I feel really great. Now, do you find that the cravings you had before, has keto helped with that for you?
Keto helps definitely with it because there's ways that you can create or simulate sweets with a ketogenic lifestyle because you have xylitol or...
So sweeteners, we haven't touched on this.
Yes, I know.
Sweeteners are allowed on keto.
They are, but you have to be very careful because there are some people who are triggered with sweeteners and will have issues, have a stall. Okay, so I try and stay with monk fruit.
Okay,
and
I've heard
stevia.
Of it. Okay.
Both of those are from actual plants. Okay. I still don't like erythritol very much, and erythritol, which is Swerve,
is
made from GMO corn. No bueno.
Okay.
I'm not okay with that.
Right.
Because technically that's a food that's off limits.
Corn?
Yes, corn, because it's
Oh.
it's monocropping. We don't do corn, and that's technically they're using it as a grain substitute. We don't do that.
Okay.
So you have to be very careful
Okay.
whenever you're getting into the sugar-free labels.
I know low carbers are really into their sugar free. Like fake desserts, it would taste like a dessert. So then maybe this might be the biggest difference. I thought
Yes.
it was the vegetable thing. And that is okay, that's a pretty big difference.
It is
so
a big
keto
difference.
allows some vegetables, carnivore does 0 vegetables. But
And we allow some fruits. Berries.
Oh,
Berries.
berries.
Berries are okay. But yeah, vegetables, there are certain vegetables that are okay. No starches are ever okay.
okay. Sweet potato?
No,
No.
not okay. Mm-mm.
Okay. Carnivore does nothing sweetened at all.
Right.
In fact, some people, pure heavy cream, is too much of a sweet.
I know.
I mean, there is a sweetness to it.
yeah, there
even
is.
if it's not sweetened. I can't deny that.
I even think eggs sometimes taste sweet.
They can. Honestly, when
like
people
if they're
first
medium,
go...
if you cook a medium
Oh,
fried,
my-
I had fried eggs
Yes.
this morning and it was medium and like the liquid, it tastes sweet, which is weird.
Your taste buds change so much that we have had people report that their water tastes sweet. Water can
I'm
taste
not surprised. And the way that whenever someone is trying to start keto and they say that foods are tasting weird or something doesn't taste right, and I'm like, your tongue has been bird boxed by carbohydrates.
Yes.
It's basically like your tongue has a blanket, so nothing tastes quite right. So now, if
Yes.
you've had anything that remotely had anything sweet in it, it would be just
I've tried to
shock.
tell people that they think I'm full of it, but
it's
the smell of something really sweet. If you get something close enough to smell it, it's almost like you taste it.
it's too much.
It's too much. Certain candles, when I'm smelling them, I'm, oh my gosh, it's like I ate that candle and
Make
it
me
was
feel
like
nauseous.
a cinnamon bun. Terrible.
You feel nauseous. It does not feel good at all. No.
So the reason carnivores don't taste sweet at all is, even if it's like a sugar-free gum or anything sweet tasting,
No gum keto
is it,
people.
Oh.
No gum.
No gum. Okay. Common ground.
Not okay.
Is it triggers that sweet taste that keeps the cravings.
Yes, it
like
sends a message from your brain.
the more sweet you taste, the more sweet you want.
Mm-hmm.
And when sweet is cut out completely, we find that you want
do
nothing
it.
sweet. So I haven't tasted a sweetener in 10 years. So I literally, if you even made like a pseudo dessert with like, what's one of the approved sweeteners?
Well, the stevia or the monk fruit.
Stevia. So a zero carb, a further definition might be no plants and no sweet.
Yeah.
No
at all.
sweet.
Yeah.
At all. If it tastes sweet, we're out.
Yeah.
And it's that trigger of the like, it just keeps, for most of us, we say that it keeps a craving for more sweets and carbs alive.
It does. It absolutely does. And so I will notice that if I have more stevia, like if I have 3 cups of coffee in a day,
Okay.
okay, if I do more than 1 packet of stevia in each one of those coffees,
Yes.
I will crave more. Like I won't crave a candy bar, but I'll crave another cup of coffee with
Yeah.
more stevia.
Yeah, that
which
makes
is
sense.
weird because it's, even though it's a natural sweetener from a plant, it still is sending a
Sweet
message
crave
to the
sweets.
brain.
So you kind of see why we've gotten
do.
to this place.
I do.
Okay. Would I consider being keto? Well, I would say that's probably the number one reason I would. There are 2 reasons. I don't deal with plants well, and I couldn't take sweet back into my diet at all.
No.
And I think I know I would really miss the simplicity of it. I don't think
yes.
I would ever think I want to make this more complicated at this point.
No. Mm-mm.
So I have nothing, I love you. I just met you, but I love you. I got no issue with you or keto, but as far
Yeah.
as me honestly saying, do I predict I would ever be keto? I don't think I would. Do you think you would be carnivore?
Well, I'm transitioning. I'm transitioning to carnivore right now.
I knew I loved you.
I know, right?
No, I would have loved you either way, but really. So
Yes.
that is, you're open to that idea and kind of headed that way.
Yes. So
I didn't even know that when I asked her to come.
She
I
really
really didn't.
No, she really didn't. So, having been keto for 7 years and eliminating certain foods, I have found that there are certain vegetables that are kind of pillar vegetables that are go-tos for keto, and those are the broccoli, the cauliflower, and the Brussels sprouts, but all of those 3 are high sulfur vegetables. I am high sulfur sensitive.
Okay.
It feels like someone's doing a fast pitch softball game in my intestines. Not comfortable.
Okay.
And just not good. I can't eat them. Doesn't matter if they're baked, fried, grilled. Doesn't matter how you procure the vegetable. I can't handle it.
Okay.
So I have been dabbling in it, and so what I would say is that I am carnivore keto, which means on a rare occasion I will have avocado. I had probably 3 green beans last night with a steak, but let's be clear. I had 2 ribeye steaks that were grilled in butter, and I use salt.
Okay. I do still use salt when I want it. There are days when I taste it on my food, I'm like, I usually try, it's weird.
Yeah.
I do feel like I'm kind of in tune with what I need because I'll taste it and I'm like, oh,
Valid.
tastes salty. And other days I'm like, could use some more salt.
And that's based off of what you need, if you're low in sodium or not low in sodium. So what I would say is that I have stopped using other seasonings like pepper, because pepper has its high oxalates.
Okay.
So, which is weird. But I feel like we are both like cornucopias of useless information when it comes to various foods.
Maybe someone will find this useful.
I hope so. I think that you will. It's one of those things you don't know until you experience it. So the decade long for you and the 7-year itch for me. And that's, I think, what the itch is for me. That I'm tired of just doing keto and I'm ready to get into more carnivore. And so here's the thing.
Got a little flutter.
I know. As I play with it, I feel like if I didn't eat OMAD and I ate carnivore, I wouldn't lose weight. Because I could technically still gain weight on just meat alone if I ate 3 meals a day or 2 meals a day and just meat.
I don't think you would.
You don't think I would?
I don't think you would.
I don't know. I feel like...
I think it'd be worth trying. From now on, you will eat 6,000 calories per day. I have actually seen people do these experiments where literally they tried to eat 6,000 calories per day. They did not gain weight on carnivore.
Now I'm starting to think about Dr. Shaun Baker, because I know that y'all interviewed together. And she's kind of a celebrity because I've also heard Joe Rogan mention you, and Keto Girl Vanessa, I heard her mention you.
I went out to lunch with her. She's
know.
so awesome.
She was talking about you when she did her podcast with Michaela, and she said that you called your burgers, what are they?
Meat cookies.
Meat cookies. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I haven't listened to
she
that
name
one,
dropped you, and then you were on another one. I know, it's so crazy. So I feel like I'm a little
I didn't tell her
starstruck.
to say all that.
There's like a beef halo. Like she smells like ribeye. It's just sweating out.
If I do, maybe I should Febreze.
We got the meat sweats for real.
Yeah, right. Yes, I did have a good bit of meat cookies a little while. I might smell like a little burger patty.
No.
Well, thanks for saying all that.
No,
I appreciate that.
absolutely.
But I do feel like, when it comes to Shaun Baker, he eats a lot
of meat,
and it's not in a 1 hour window. If he's hungry, he's eating.
It's all day.
That's much more typical of. That's my people.
But he is also expelling a lot of caloric.
But a lot of us aren't.
Oh my God, no.
Like a lot of us eat just like Shaun Baker. Well, not just like. I couldn't possibly eat quite that much.
No, I can't.
I mean, he's eating a lot.
He's eating a lot.
He's a world record holder, and I'm a mom sitting around, playing Candyland.
I like candy. Wait a minute, we need to have our own board game with like Meatland. Meatland.
You land in bacon, and that's the one.
Can I just stay there?
Yeah.
Now let's talk about organs.
Oh, yeah. Do keto people eat organs?
They don't. No, they don't. As I've been getting into carnivore and playing around with it, now
you're hearing it.
Right.
That's not been for the whole 10 years.
No.
It hasn't. This is more recent. We go through, like I said, we had a bone broth phase. We've had some weird ones. The raw phase.
Well, I wanted to talk about that because there are people that I follow on Instagram, and it's like raw ground beef and a raw egg on top of it. And I'm like, again, texture, I don't think I can. But I will say, as I have started eating more meat, I kind of like it cooked less.
Very common.
I like my steaks rare. I went to Outback and got a rare bone-in cowboy ribeye.
I know that was
and
good.
It was delicious. That is a problem that people will have on keto, is that they're thinking, I've got to switch my brain and my body to just eating fat. So they eat an exorbitant amount of fat, and they don't lose any weight. Pull back on the fat. Focus on eating fattier protein, but not fat bombs.
Right.
Not, I'm going to drown this in Kerrygold.
Yeah.
I'm going to drown this in MCT oil. I'm going to, have tons and tons of, what are some things that are super, super fat? Like dairies.
Oh, I feel like dairy gets people in a lot of trouble.
Yes, dairy. Well, today I had it was mozzarella cheese, pepperoni, and bacon. I just made one of those
Yeah.
cheese crust pizzas for lunch. That is not a normal thing for me.
Right.
But we do it, every
Some
so
carnivores
often.
won't touch dairy, and
Yeah.
others, I can have small amounts, but if I have much, I actually get a little bit of a reaction, like a drippy nose,
Yeah.
and I feel a little bit of an anxiety creep up that I don't normally have. It kind of messes with, like, my happy zero carbs in.
Yeah. Well, dairy does increase mucus production, so that's normal.
There you go.
I am married to my health. It is not an option. It is mandatory. Like, you don't just start this lifestyle because your pants are tight. I come from a background where on one side of my family, my grandfather had Alzheimer's for 12 years. My grandmother, after he passed, she had dementia. She also had heart disease. He had really bad acid reflux, had to have his esophagus stretched.
Oh my
The
gosh.
other side of the family had lung cancer, diabetes. It was bad. So I'm going to die of one of those things. But if I can slow down the progression of those diseases based off of,
Reducing inflammation.
right, reducing inflammation is crucial.
Yep.
I literally was listening to a podcast on the way here about how the ketogenic diet helps reduce inflammation and helps kind of counteract MS and Parkinson's. It also,
Yep.
they're trying to re-stabilize or rename
Alzheimer's.
diabetes.
Type
Alzheimer's
3.
is going to be type 3 diabetes because it is sugar on your brain.
That's right. Yeah, carnivore community is not
We
into
don't eat
snacking
snacks
either.
We don't eat snacks. Water and salt are fine. You'll be just fine. We have an amazing creator. We can live for days without food. Not
hey.
water. Days without food.
Amen, sister.
Days.
I like that. Yes, we really can. If I had to, I could. I certainly believe carnivores are amazing fasters.
Yes.
Humans are amazing fasters in
How
general.
long have you fasted?
Oh, not long at all. I love to eat.
Okay.
But I know I could.
Yeah.
I could. Right. If people need to reach you, so she's a keto coach.
Yes.
In North Carolina, I'm not sure. Would you do it via internet/phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do keto coaching, and it's just ketoashley.com. And you can follow me on Instagram at Keto Carnivore Ashley. I know, right? Because I'm still keto and carnivore combined. At some point, it will probably be just carnivore.
Well,
Ashley.
speaking of our friend Vanessa, ketogenic
I know.
girl, she would probably love us both.
I know she would, and she doesn't even drink coffee anymore. She just drinks hot water.
Oh, I've done silver water. Is that what they call it?
I don't know.
I've gone through a phase. I've done a couple years of carnivore without coffee. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're totally.
Okay.
No, you didn't
So,
interrupt.
Keto. Say it one more time.
KetoAshley.com, and that is basically information about my site, about my backstory, the journey that I've gone on, and I want to make sure that I'm very clear about the coaching that I do, that I am more about onboarding you into the entire lifestyle. I do not focus in the beginning on we don't get stuck in the weeds. We really just talk about foods that are okay, what to do when you're in the grocery store, what to eat when you go out. I help you with environmental issues of how to handle and deal, and then we work on your triggers and your addictions. And we focus on abundance mindset versus scarcity mindset. And what that means is whenever people do this diet or this lifestyle, they say, oh, I can't have that.
Yes.
Stop saying the word I can't. No, it's I choose not to because I'm better than that. I choose not to put fake processed foods in my body. I choose not to have plastic.
Okay, I like that. I frequently tell people, they say, oh, you can't have anything but meat. I say, well, I mean, I could. I choose to eat meat.
I choose.
I love eating meat.
Right.
I don't go through life feeling like a martyr. I hate that.
We will not be saying
We
to
are
any
not
time.
martyrs.
No. So basically, I don't want to be your coach forever. I really just want to help you get through the process of 30, 60, 90 days. And then after that, you should be fine. It's not something that's super difficult to get in. But I feel that at times, if someone feels that they have to have a coach constantly, that they will fall back on it. Like, oh, no. You will get trained. You will understand mindset of where you're focused, where you're at. I also, within the first 30 days, do not focus on you working out.
Oh,
I want you to get
nice.
nutrition fixed because there are a lot.
Yes.
Abs are made in the kitchen, not in the gym.
It's true. And people, the carnivore you know there are carnivores that work out a lot.
A lot.
But for the most part, we
No.
believe that people should work out because they have gotten healthy and now they have energy to feel like it. You
Yes.
didn't get healthy by working out.
Yes, exactly.
You work out because now I do feel like I have energy, and so I do sometimes feel like taking a walk with my kids,
Yeah.
but I don't work out to get skinny.
No.
I don't actually do workouts at all, just life. Oh, really?
True.
Okay.
This is true.
So I think if you do decide to, no pressure. I'm really not here trying to like be a carnivore. You know you want to. You know you want to.
So
That
she's
really
a mama
wasn't my-
T-Rex over here, like a velociraptor.
Yes, you should do it. If you ever did, I think it would be fun to come back and chat about any
Yeah.
differences you've noticed, not just in your life, which obviously I think there would be like differences in your day-to-day life, but how you felt, if it changed anything, or if
Yeah.
it was exactly the same. But I'm so glad you came.
I know.
And I consider you a friend now.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks for
Glad to
having
catch
me.
you. You're
I've
welcome.
enjoyed talking to everybody, and it's been fun.
Yeah.
I know
thanks.
we probably forgot a bunch of things, but we can
sure
do
we
it.
did. Come back.
Number 2.
Bye.
Bye, guys.